Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and this is my audience. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about depression and what it does to college students. So, college is a world filled with many different responsibilities and commitments for students. Keeping up with work, classes, and friends can all take a huge mental toll on your mental health. And if not handled properly, it can also keep us from addressing these mental health issues. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the ways in which you and I can both prevent depression and combat it if we're already dealing with it. Things such as exercise, meditation, and stress management. And before you roll your eyes, let me tell you why these things are so important for our health. So we're going to start with exercise. And we all know what exercise is. It's essentially the act of engaging in physical activity that is challenging. But the reason it's not only helpful for our physical health and our mental health as well is because when we engage in this, it releases feel-good chemicals called endorphins. And these endorphins are essentially what makes us feel almost like a high, like when people run and they get a runner's high. So the way this helps with depression is that when it releases these chemicals that we're already so low on, we feel better about ourselves and it helps us combat these symptoms. Another thing is that in an article for Harvard, Dr. Miller states that individuals with depression have a smaller hippocampus, and the hippocampus is essentially the part of our brain that regulates mood. So exercise, what this does is there is a nerve cell growth spurt in our brains that helps this region of the brain also develop and grow, which essentially helps our mood regulate, and this is also helpful for depression. Another thing is that it helps release tension. So as college students, there's a lot of tension and there's a lot of things that overwhelm us just because we have a lot in our day-to-day lives. And exercise helps us cope with it. It's a good coping mechanism. It's a healthy coping mechanism because students tend to turn to alcohol or drugs or random shopping and splurging on other things that give us an artificial sense of happiness and give us an artificial sense of feel better, but exercise is something that's healthier and is natural, a natural way to feel better. So that is an external way of dealing with depression, but what are some of the internal ways that you can deal with this? That is where meditation comes in. So meditation is a complementary approach that helps with depression, and essentially what it is the act of you sitting alone with your thoughts with no distractions and just analyzing them. You're not really judging them, you're not really criticizing, you're just seeing them for what they are. And the reason this helps is because it increases our awareness. So as college students, we tend to be on autopilot a lot of our lives because there's so much going on, we have so many things to do, and it's hard for us to really analyze our thoughts and behaviors and emotions. So it's just a good way of looking at ourselves and looking at our inner thoughts in a way that's not judgmental. Another thing is that it helps control our thought patterns. So our thought patterns are important to control because if not, that's where depression comes in and it consumes us and we become it. And it dictates our day-to-day lives and it dictates all of the choices we make day to day. The American Psychology Association reports that meditation also prevents relapse. So the thing about college is that we're in it for so long, for as many years as we are, and things do get harder, right? Things get harder as you go further into your career in college or whatever. And we have to prevent relapse, and meditation is a good way of doing this, but you have to be consistent with it. So now that we've talked about some of the ways that you can deal with depression, how do you deal with the things that cause it, such as the responsibilities that we have in college? That is where we learn how to manage our stress. So stress management, that's very important as a college student because you're learning how to organize your days, You're learning how to plan in advance for the things that you need in your day-to-day life. And it's very important because it helps us feel in control of our lives, and it helps us refocus and regroup, and it gives us a sense of confidence. A Healthline article reports that it also helps with preventing depressive symptoms from coming up, from developing, right? So we want to stay away from depression, and we want to stay away from these negative emotions as much as we can. And the way we can do that is by decreasing our chances of feeling overwhelmed. And we do this by planning our days in advance. Additionally, when you do this, you're also lengthening your days, right? So there's more time in your day for the things you love, for the hobbies you love, for the people you love, to do the things that really make you happy, rather than being in a scramble of things that is just chaos when you don't have order to your days. So we're going to be looking at this graph that we got from the ResearchGate, which talks about the effects of physical health to our mental being. So here we have a percentage that goes up by 5% increments, and then here we have people who before they exercised, 4 weeks after exercising, and then 5 weeks after exercising. So the blue part is going to be the motivation, and then the pink is our coping, and then depression is going to be in green, which is what we're mostly focusing on here. So as you can see, before people start engaging in physical activity, right, engaging in exercise, there tends to be a 17% of people who have depressive symptoms, right? And then as the more we exercise, and that's the important thing, is being consistent. So the more you do it, the more it's going to go down, and the more coping and motivation is going to go up. So here we have it at 17, and then we get it to come down to a 14%, which is quite a change, but it's something that has to be done very, very consistently. And this has been proven in a research by ResearchGate. So to conclude, responsibilities in college, they don't go away. None of this is going to make your responsibilities as a college student just disappear. Depression has to be faced head on, and that's a hard thing to do. It's a scary thing to do. What you need to combat this and what you need to deal with it is something to cope with, right? You need a physical outlet of your tension that you're feeling. You also need a mental anchor, something to keep you grounded, something to keep you mentally like aware and focused on what, you know, where your thoughts stand and where you stand. And the last thing is that you need to take order, you need to regain order of your day-to-day life. So exercise can be your physical outlet, meditation can be your mental anchor, and then stress management can help you control your day-to-day life. And with these three things, it's quite impossible for depression to manifest itself in college students. So I hope this information helps you all. Thank you.